Greetings, friends. It's Pat back with another episode of Let's Talk Travel. And this evening, we're going to be featuring a cruise line that some of you may not yet be familiar with. They're a newer player for us here in the Caribbean, although they've been around for many years. And tonight, our guest is Holly Sievers, manager of host accounts with MSC Cruise Line. But before I bring Holly onto the screen, I have just a very short video. You know, I like to whet your appetites. So let's take a quick look at this video before we bring Holly on board. And with that, let's bring Holly. Holly, I love that video.
I do too.
And
I do too. And it's what's neat too is it came out during the pandemic, and here we are. It almost gave me tears watching it just to think of how much we've overcome. And now the future is so bright, and our ships are sailing again, and it's really exciting.
Exactly. And for our listeners, let me tell you that we were looking at tomorrow. And for those of you who may not yet realize it, tomorrow is today. The cruise lines are back, folks, and it is prime time to get those bookings going, because there's literally, in my estimation, and I have been on 3 cruises since the fall and going on a 4th one this Saturday. So we are out there sailing, and I've never had a time when I thought it was any more fabulous. I mean, it really is the best cruising that I have ever done. So,
Yeah.
so excited for the cruise line industry in general. Holly, now, people may not be as familiar with MSC here in the U.S. yet, but you're a newer player in the Caribbean. How long have you been around down here now?
So we have been, currently, first let me just tell some fast facts for those of you who aren't familiar. So if you're listening, you may not realize MSC is actually the second largest cruise line as far as capacity in the world. So although it's a new name to the U.S. market, and if you haven't heard of us yet, you definitely will. We're really growing in this market, but we're also the world's largest privately owned cruise line as well. We're owned by the Ponte family. So just kind of thinking of some of the timelines, we actually started in Mr. Aponte founded it in 1970. He founded the MSC shipping company, which is now actually this year became the world's largest shipping company. So I'm talking growth, and as we continue the conversation, you'll see just how big this organization is. But they entered into the cruise market in 1988 and then established MSC Cruises in 2002. So that wasn't really that long ago. And then here, right before the pandemic, 2019, we had 2.7 million passengers sailing, 185 nationalities from around the world. And so we're looking forward to getting back to that. During the pandemic, we didn't have to get rid of any of our fleet. In fact, that was just the opposite. So the growth has continued. So behind the scenes, even though as clients we weren't able to sail, MSC was still working behind the scenes, and we had actually 2 new cruise ships come out in 2021 during the thick of the pandemic, which is absolutely remarkable in my eyes. And then we just have a really, we're all over the world. We go to 200 destinations around the world, but we are really we have a big commitment here in the U.S. market, which we'll kind of talk about today.
Yeah. And you guys are the biggest carrier in Europe. Am I right about that for
We
cruise lines? You are significantly by a good margin.
Yeah, in Europe, in South Africa, and South America, and just wait. I think it's going to be happening here in the U.S. market too.
You guys have made great inroads, and I'm telling you, you have done that when others have failed and fallen flat on your face. You guys just continue your strategic marketing and your value proposition is second to none. I love MSC. I'll tell you a little bit more about my experience as we're talking here too. What are some of the hallmarks of the MSC brand that set you guys apart from the other players? You guys are part of the popularly priced, family friendly cruise lines that you kind of some of those brands that you guys may have heard of. I won't mention their names, but some of the the main players out there that you guys. How do you differentiate yourselves from those more well-known brands?
So, being a global company, one thing that we really pride ourselves on is having a global community on board with our staff and with our clients. Right now, during the pandemic, we, for the U.S. ships, it sourced more from the U.S. market, but we're really looking forward to getting back to the borders, completely opening where it's easy to travel and welcoming that on board, as we mentioned, being number one in Europe and South America and all over the world. Clients really want to come to be from around the world to be on our ships, which makes it really interesting too if you have kids that are in the kids club, and then they can interact with clients or with other children from all over the world and have pen pals from all over the world, which is neat. But our ships also are absolutely gorgeous, as you know, because you've been on. I know the seaside. They're beautiful. Our hardware is some of the most beautiful in the entire cruise industry, I believe.
I'm going to say, Holly, that you are absolutely right. When I first stepped on board, this is a seaside that we sailed on just pre-pandemic, and it blew me away. I mean, these ships have an elegance, and just they far more look like you are on board a premium, one of the higher priced ships.
Yes.
Significantly more. I mean, they're classy, they're elegant. This is my husband on that Swartz. I can't ever say the Swartz.
Swarovski crystal staircase, which is the signature on all of our ships. So if you go on an MSC ship, you have to take a photo similar to this one here of your husband.
I mean, it is stunning, absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And I mean, I was just going, wow, and I've been on a few ships, let's just be honest here. So the fact that it really wowed me, these days it takes a little more because I've been there and done that, but just blew me away. What an elegance and beauty that these ships have.
And what's amazing too is it is so elegant and they're beautiful and classy and state of the art technology. And then we also have a kids program that is just as fantastic. And our ships are very large and they're in a section. A lot of people say, is it great for families? MSC is fantastic for families, but if you're traveling without kids, you won't even see the kids unless you go look for them, because their area is so amazing. That's where they want to spend the whole time. They're not interested in the staircases and the champagne bars and jazz music as we are.
They're one of the things that struck me in my experience on MSC, and I'm just going to tell you, Holly, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to do a true confession here.
Yeah.
I did not sell MSC for many years. I didn't. Somebody had told me so. An agent that I respect greatly had given me some and so I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then you guys got me on board one of those ships, and I did a 180-degree turn. I have been enthusiastically selling and marketing your cruises ever since. In fact, I just had 2 different couples that normally sail with a couple of the brands that you would recognize on the premium level.
Mhm.
And they both wanted to get away, and I had to do a little talking, frankly, with one of those couples, because they're brand people. They sail with this particular brand, but I finally got both of them on the Meraviglia, and I have a hard time saying that for some reason. I hope
You
I
did
don't.
good. That's it.
And they both thanked me. They had a fabulous time on board that beautiful ship, and they thanked me for encouraging them in that direction. So, folks, if you haven't been on MSC, and you think that it wouldn't, let's talk. Let's just
You
talk.
know, that's the power of a travel agent too, that you get to experience things and have the knowledge. It's so important to experience it. So definitely everybody needs to book through their travel agent.
Thank you very much.
But they also, for clients that haven't been on an MSC cruise and there maybe they have a status with another cruise line or another hotel, we offer something called a status match program. So it's a great way to try out an MSC cruise and automatically come in at the status you were on another cruise line. So say you are on brand X only because you're gold with them. Ours is called a Voyagers Club. Our top tier is diamond, and then once you get on, we have priority boarding. We have, chocolate covered strawberries and sparkling wine delivered to your cabin. There's a captain's party, but you also get discounts on your booking. But it starts on your first booking, your first sailing. So
if you're platinum with one of those other brands, you can bring all of those perks can come over to the MSC, whatever they would offer at that level. You will get those. Well, that is huge.
yeah.
And talk about a big incentive for somebody to check out a new brand, because those perks can be, they add up. That's why people are, keep sailing with the same brand. They keep getting more and more goodies each time. So
Yeah.
it's really good. And we've mentioned some things, but how would you define your ideal client for an MSC sailing?
So, it's a little different right now because we're entering back into the pre-pandemic where we're still, as I mentioned, still sourcing. Like if you're in the US market, it's still primarily sourced from the US market, or in Europe, we went through phases where it was just Schengen countries only. So once we get back to all of it, the ideal client is actually they're avid learners. They're well traveled. Maybe the client that if they were going to take a vacation, they might favor a Europe destination over, just going to the beach. A client that we always use this example, like if everyone loves MSC, but a client that says, "Oh, I just want to sit by the pool and not think." You can certainly do that on an MSC cruise. But the type of client that says, "I want to, learn something," so we have a lot of opportunities for them to actually learn. Like some of our excursions are built around more learning experiences. So those avid learners love MSC cruises.
Excellent. And people who are culturally curious, I find, I loved the fact that we met so many people from Europe,
Yeah.
there, because for Europeans, coming over and doing the Caribbean is our equivalent of doing the med cruises.
Right.
And so they come and do the Caribbean cruises, and they know MSC. And so if you are a culturally curious person, and you enjoy meeting people from different countries, we had delightful conversations from people from all over Europe while
I
we
love
were on board. It was lovely, and we just thoroughly enjoyed that aspect, because from time to time when we sail with the US based brands, we encounter somebody but we, there was a significant number. And so you just had these delightful conversations and cultural, exploration. They asked us questions, and we'd share some insights to our different culture. It was great. I loved
so
it.
fun. I know. I love that too. So fun.
So really good. And, um, you know, let's mention Yacht Club. We haven't yet mentioned the Yacht Club. I don't want to pass by that is an amazing space. If you've heard the ship within a ship, folks, that some of the other brands talk about, MSC can do that too. Holly, tell us about that.
So the Yacht Club is absolutely fabulous. If you are going on an MSC cruise and you can splurge just a little, the price is very, very reasonable and the value is amazing. But I highly recommend that you take the splurge. It's this exclusive area, exclusive club. There, it's key card access only. You have a butler. You have a 24-hour concierge. You have a private restaurant. Private, they have their own music down in the private lobby area. Maybe it's a pianist or whoever. The images you saw, the Swarovski crystal staircase, they have those that go up to their private restaurant. The pool is heavenly. It's all on the, everything is right on the front of the ship, so the views are amazing. But you have your own little, buffet. Your butler can be out there. It's an absolute heavenly experience. The butler can, unpack your luggage if you want. If you're going to go see a show, he'll reserve your seat in the front and escort you down there. As soon as you pull up to the terminal, he's waiting for you and takes your luggage up for you. When you get to the private island, they have their own, because we'll talk about that in a second, but they have their own area in this beautiful guest house that's there reserved just for the Yacht Club members. But everybody that goes in the Yacht Club, I always find this funny, they have these grand intentions of enjoying and exploring the entire ship, because there's so much so much to see and do, and the ship is beautiful. But they just stay in the Yacht Club the whole time because it is just so zen and serene, and it's really hard to leave. And then they're always disappointed for their butler when they get home.
It is quite the retreat. It blew me away. Now, folks, I just want to tell you, you don't have to say. I wanted to share. I showed this image a minute ago, but this is the adults only area, the pool area on the seaside, and I loved that area for so many reasons. It was wonderful, great place to retreat. I loved it when we were in port. I would go here because there was nobody hanging around, and it was like being on your own private pool area. And I loved these touches of whimsy with these figurines and things.
Yeah.
It was just, it was elegance, but there's a fun factor. I loved it. So many things. So we touched also. You just mentioned your secret weapon, Ocean K. However, some say Key, some say K. We know that the cruise lines are always upping their games with their private islands, but you've kind of taken things a step beyond. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so it's actually pronounced Ocean Key, so Ocean Key, MSC Marine Reserve, and Key is kind of that authentic way that the Bohemians say it, and that is exactly what this island is. It is authentic, serene, natural. There's some other private islands, as you mentioned, that some other cruise lines have, and maybe they're the biggest amusement park or whatever. That is not at all what MSC Ocean Key Marine Reserve is. It's an actual marine reserve. When MSC acquired it, it was this huge 3-year renovation project, and it was full of tons of scrap metal and tires, and it was just a big dumping ground, which is really sad. And it had killed everything surrounding it. All the coral and everything was dead. So they did this transformation that was just, had never been heard of, and they disposed properly of all of that trash, got rid of it. Now, and they planted 75,000 trees and shrubs, and it has just flourished. And so now everything is growing back. There's, avian population that's growing. They have sea turtles that have started hatching. They have, they're seeing lobster, and the coral is growing. There's so much goodness happening. We're working with, or the MSC Foundation is working with, they partnered with the University of Miami, and they're doing this whole initiative to protect and restore the super coral there, and are creating this model that's successful that they can replicate around the world as well. So although when we're there, we just enjoy this beauty of this tranquil, serene place, there's also good things happening besides just, cruisers having a good time. But the fun side of it is, it truly is my favorite place. There's certain places you go to and you just get that feel. And not just because I work for MSC, I would feel the same way if I was visiting, but it's just beautiful. The water, if you look at any image and you'll see the water in the picture, and it doesn't even do it justice as to when you're there. It's just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And all of our Caribbean ships will visit Ocean Key. The majority of them will stay through the night. Some of them stay 2 days or overnight, which is fantastic. So you're on this little slice of heaven, and then there's our iconic lighthouse, and at night it turns it does this amazing light show. So you have people on the beach with these fire pits, and there's a DJ playing, and you're under the stars and watching this light show. You can watch it from the ship too, from the comfort of your own balcony cabin, but it's just magical, absolutely magical. So yeah, a lot of guests like to they maybe get off in the day and enjoy the everything that the island has to offer, go back on, take a shower, and then go back onto the island for dinner and enjoy the show. The lighthouse, if you just have a drink and watch the sunset and wind down, the sunsets are beautiful from there. There's food trucks that are set up you can have like lobster mac and cheese and lobster grilled cheese, and it's heavenly. I hope everybody can go there. And if anybody wants to get married, there's nothing better than a dreamy wedding on a private island, and the gazebo where the weddings would be held is the photos would just be spectacular with the water behind you.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. I love that. I hadn't heard about doing weddings there. What a great idea, folks. If you want to do something different, and how much more romantic can it possibly be than on a private island out there in the Caribbean? My goodness, that is fabulous. Now, you guys, you have one of the largest fleets, if not the largest. Is it
so we're now we're the third largest as far as capacity. I had heard when Seashore, that just came out in November, would bump us up to the second largest. So nothing officially has been released. So we might possibly be, but we have this incredible growth with new ships coming, 1 to 2 new ships coming every single year. So right now we have 19 ships, 19 beautiful, huge cruise ships, and we'll have 20, I believe it's 24 by the year 2025.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yes. And all of this, with this growth, because we have such a strong, the U.S. market is such a focus for us. So we have, we sail all over the world, just about anywhere anybody would want to go. We probably either home port there or we visit there, but from the Med, China, Dubai, everywhere. But talking about here in the Caribbean, what's exciting, so we have, just to kind of show the investment here, we're getting all of our new ships when they come in. The Seashore just came out in November. It's now in Miami. We have Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve that we just talked about. And then it's fun. This week we just made 2 big announcements. So we have Port Canaveral also, which is a brand new port for us. So that's 2 ports. And then we just announced this week we'll be sailing out of New York as well. It'll be a home port year round. It starts April 2023, and we're so excited. We just announced it yesterday. Yeah. So she'll be doing 3 different itineraries. So April to August, she'll do Bahamas and down to Florida. And then August through September, she'll do Bermuda. She'll actually stay there. It's 6 nights, and she'll stay there for a couple of days so everybody can get off and enjoy. And then in October, she'll do that Canada, New England corridor. And then, so exciting. I mean, just so much fun.
Folks, if you have not done those two itineraries, Bermuda is fabulous. I love that because you go and you dock, that is your destination. You go and you dock and you spend time in one destination, and the ship is your hotel and restaurant, but you still have all the restaurants and shopping and charm. And Bermuda is a charming, delightful destination. And Canada, New England, what can I say? That's one of my favorites ever. The history and all of the charm, it's amazing. So folks, put those 2 itineraries on your bucket list, and this would be, that's a ship. Let me show that picture here.
Yeah, it's the Meraviglia, which is a destination in itself. So it came out in 2017, and and it won all kinds of awards when it came out. It's completely different, the design of the Seaside that we were talking about. This is a completely different phase.
Yes.
And the way that this one, some unique things about this one, they have the longest LED dome lighting in the center of the stage, the center of the ship. So in the promenade, the, specialty restaurants and stuff are stacked 2 stories. And then this LED dome lighting, if you Google any images, you'll see, but it's constantly changing. Sometimes it looks like the Sistine Chapel, sometimes it looks like twinkly stars, and it's so beautiful. I remember the first time I got on the ship, I was so excited thinking, oh, I'm so happy I work for MSC because we get to experience this and sell it and talk about it. So
it's a ship. I actually, had booked on that ship and then got, the pandemic came in and got, so that one is high on my list. I'm anxious to sail. It even more so since I've had this great client feedback from my clients who just recently sailed on board. So it really just one of those ships that is beautiful and has a great. And I just watched something a few days ago. My husband managed to plug in. He was just surfing around YouTube. There is an incredible video out there of the inner workings of that ship.
Oh, wait, of Maravilla, maybe there's also one called The Secret Life of Cruises on Amazon. That one's on Seaside, I believe, which is the one you were on.
Okay.
But there's a couple, so there may be a different one that you're thinking.
I think it was a Maravilla.
Okay, yeah.
But it was, I was mesmerized. I stopped working and just stared at the TV, and that's unusual these days.
There's so, it's really, with all of the growth and all of the exciting things, there's so that our PR team does a great job of getting interesting content like that out, that it's not just seeing the ship, you get to see how it was built and all that kind of stuff, which is exciting.
This was really, it was just fascinating. I couldn't watch it. Let's talk about the COVID crisis and where things stand. You guys were the first to sail the big ships once, post, it wasn't even post COVID. It was,
in the thick of it. Yeah. So in the med, we were able to start. It was, I believe it was August of 2020. And it was before we had vaccinations. MSC, it was before we were able to get all of this testing. MSC was able to acquire, they purchased some testing and just did really strict health and safety protocols. And and then it was approved to sail there. Actually safer to be on the ship sailing than it was at the time Italy was shut down, than it was for the Italians to go to the grocery store. So MSC has been a leader in just making sure health and safety protocols, keeping everyone safe, being able to get the cruise industry back up to par, to protect people and have a really safe vacation. Now things have moved along, and our ships are back in the water. The issue now with some U.S. residents would be, you just have to really keep an eye on the testing to get in, restrictions getting into the different countries and stuff, if you're able to sail or not. On our website is a great resource for clients that are either planning to sail, or maybe they want to book with you, but they want to just see what it's what the requirements are right now. It's ever changing, so I would also recommend look at it now, make your decision, and then make sure you keep an eye on it 2 weeks and up until when you travel, to see if there's any testing requirements or whatever vaccination requirements, whatever the case may be. But we do offer a opportunity where we have some great specials right now, so you can actually book and then within 48 hours if you want to change your plan. So you could take advantage of this, pick a date, and if you get a little nervous, within 48 hours you can change your sail date if you'd like.
Excellent. So in my opinion, Holly, that really quite honest about this, I think you guys offer, hands down, the absolute best value for Caribbean sailings. I don't think anybody can touch the fares and with the package that you offer, with the beautiful ships, the absolute fabulous entertainment, great food. I didn't even mention the food, folks. It was wonderful. It was varied. The best pizza I ever ate. I was on
It is the best pizza, yes, and the best
absolutely.
gelato.
And you have these optional packages that are just, I mean, the exceptional value to add drinks and Wi-Fi at an amazing price. Is there any specials or promos right now that you'd like to talk about, to tell us about?
Yeah, we actually just extended. We have a balcony upgrade, so you can book an ocean view and you get upgraded to a balcony right now. Kids sail free, which is fantastic as well. We have, and then all of those, you can add on that 40 up to 48 hours that you can make the change if you're uncomfortable. But the prices have been very reflective of a new product entering into the market. So they have been, and they still are, an incredible value for what you're getting. But that may change in the near future. So my recommendation is book now while the rates are as great as they are, because we're getting more and more known in the market, and we may not have such low rates.
And this is what I tell people: book now, book often. But it's very true, folks. The fares that we're seeing right now, it's unheard of the
Yeah.
fares that you can get right now, and the various promotions that with these beverage and Wi-Fi package the MSC offers, and the rates that they currently offer. Just booking, and you lock in your rates. Even if you don't want to sail until late next summer or whatever, book now and lock in those rates, because there's no guarantee. I can guarantee that things are going to go up. I can
Yeah.
pretty much just look around me and see the growing demand and see what fuel costs are doing and so forth. This, there's just never, and I'm not manufacturing urgency. I'm just telling you what the truth of it is. I don't think we're going to see these rates holding for too much longer, and that's just an honest assessment from what I see happening. Anything else that you want to mention? Anything we missed that we should?
Well, we have another exciting thing happening today. I think if I talk to you every day, we'd probably have a new exciting thing happening here at MSC. But today we're actually doing the groundbreaking ceremony for our brand new terminal in Port Miami, which shows more investment into this market. But this terminal is going to be, the design of it, looking at the artist renderings, it's so futuristic and just gorgeous. But it will be the largest terminal out of Port Miami, which is the largest port in cruise port in the world, and it will be able to turn around 3 of our state-of-the-art cruise lines, these cruise ships, these big ships simultaneously. We'll be able to have 3 and handle 36,000 guests per day there. So yeah, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. So that's happening. So we have Port Canaveral this year, which is our new port. We have the Seashore, the brand new ship that came over in November, sailing out of Miami. And we have the groundbreaking today for the port terminal. We have our brand new ship, Seascape, which is coming this year in 2022 to Miami. And then we have the Maravilla sailing April 2023, starting in New York. And so that's the happenings for today. If I talk to you tomorrow, we'll have even more.
You have so much going on, and it's so impressive. Holly, I'm so glad to have you guys on board. I'm just delighted to feature MSC. And folks, I'm just going to tell you, are you ready to sail? Well, get ready and let's get something booked for you. It's very easy. You just contact Pat at Dancing Moon Travel on email or give me a call. Easy to find our contact information. Just Google us at Dancing Moon Travel, and we'll pop up, and we would love to get you booked. In fact, I would love to get you booked so much that I will offer if any 7-night sailing on MSC booked by the end of April. I'm going to carry it all the way through April. Just mention that you saw this show, and I will give you a $50 onboard credit and a DMT tote bag to go with it.
Okay.
So so come on and get those bookings in. And also, we'll have our drawing tonight. So this is an easy one, folks. Just in the comments, if you're watching live listeners only, type MSC in the comments, and we'll be interested. We're going to give away some of those popular luggage tag holders just for cruisers. They'll keep those luggage tags from getting ripped off, and your luggage will not go astray. These are great things, and I'll send you. We'll have our drawing, and somebody's going to win a set of those. So thanks again, Holly, and thank you, listeners, for tuning in. This is Pat at Dancing Moon Travel with another episode. Tune in again next week for Let's Talk Travel. Bye, everybody.
Bye.